Hello everyone, and welcome to Nat 1. I'm Jenna, they, them, I'm the Dungeon Master. Players, introduce yourselves and who you are playing.
Hi, I'm Sasha, she, her, and I am playing Aelar, who is an elf Bladesinger. Boom. Oswald.
Hello, I'm Declan, and I'm a he, him, and I play Oswald.
Hello, I'm Andrew, he, him. I'm playing Flopsy, the Harengon Bard.
I'm Larian, she, her, and I play Holland, the Harengon Paladin Sorcerer.
Alright, okay. So, last we left off, the party rode the mystery mine and experienced each one of their fears. Holland saw flames, Oswald experienced a tight tunnel, Aelar saw a copy of Oswald who was chopping the heads off chickens, frightening Marielle, Flopsy saw himself lost in the woods, and Felix saw their spark escaping out of their chests. After riding the ride, Flopsy and Holland were quite frightened indeed, while the others thought it was quite fun. After that, they visited Jeremy Plum at the Pixie Kingdom, where they are given pixie names. Aelar is named Bracken McLacken, Holland is named Jellybean Starfish, Flopsy is named Smarald Hith, Felix is named Cotton Candy, and Oswald is named Oswald Dimple Cheeks.
Aww.
When they were shrunk down, Skek, Holland's pixie friend who had been scarving off work in his neckerchief, rolls out of his hiding place in Holland's scarf and is seen by Jeremy. But they all play hide and seek. Aelar, Felix, Holland and Skek all hid successfully, Aelar cheating with a bit of invisibility, and poor Flopsy and Holland were caught, and their prize was a few little baggies of pixie dust. Jeremy reminded them of the Big Top Extravaganza that the Big Top Extravaganza was coming up soon, so they plan to take part and make their way there. And they see Mr. Light for the first time as he introduces the Big Top Extravaganza, which is a magical midnight showing of all the impressive talents of the staff and guests. Holland,
Midnight?
Yes, it happens at midnight.
Oh.
You questioned this before as well, it happens at midnight.
Okay.
Yeah, because the carnival starts at 8 and it lasts for 8 hours, so...
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, 8 PM at night time.
I thought it was the other way around.
It's a nighttime carnival.
Nice.
Makes
sense.
So Holland sits at the back, trying to keep unnoticed, with Skek in his neckerchief, and Felix and Flopsy join. Oswald goes all the way to the front to get out the way, but Aelar follows quickly. When the guests are called upon, Felix, Aelar and Flopsy go to the dressing room to prepare for their show. Flopsy messages the Orchard Boys to fetch something for him, which turns out to be a change of costume later on. And Felix, in a chicken costume, and Aelar perform a chicken poem along with rapid dancing from Marielle and several golden illusory chickens nodding along, trying to keep up. And afterwards, Flopsy performs a part song, part spoken word, part advertisement, part panpipe solo, part costume change show about his new idea for vegan cupcakes in the feasting orchard. All of it's met with rapturous applause. And Mr. Light runs up to Mr. Witch at the end, and they have to leave quickly. And you're left alone in the thing. Felix tries to get out of a costume, unsuccessfully for a while. But then as you're leaving, you meet with Burley the Bugbear, who wears a jack-o'-lantern helmet on his head, and he tells you that management wants to see you. And he begins to walk out of the big top and round the corner, walking with purpose. He doesn't look particularly happy or sad, he just looks quite neutral as he leads the way to the staff area. Would you like to do anything before we go?
While we're walking, I'd like to just mosey on up to Holland. And I just sort of whisper to Holland, "Hey, Holland, I'm out of magic. I can't hide Skek this time."
I think if we're being called to see the big bosses, it probably isn't going to make a difference, but thank you.
Okay.
Flopsy was walking, quite close with everyone, so I probably overheard a bit of that, and just kind of leans into Holland. You know, if we're going to see Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, it might be best if Skek isn't concealed by any of us, and he finds a different place to hide. Like,
Yeah,
he
maybe
doesn't need to come with us on this part of the night.
I agree. Skek, maybe you should go back to snail racing now.
Okay, if you think that's best. He looks really sad because he's wanted to spend the day just chilling with y'all. But he sort of pops up out the neckerchief and sadly skitters away, flying with his wings.
Don't worry, we'll only do the boring stuff without you.
He just like turns his head towards you as he flies away, and then he just makes a pouty face and just flies off. Okay.
You know, if they don't actually know that Skek was with us, we could always maybe swing by and bring him along for some other fun stuff afterwards. It just seems a little bit too risky to bring him directly to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't have to avoid him for the rest of the night.
I'm just gonna miss him.
We'll all miss him, Holland. But anyway, let's get going.
Alright. So you go around the back of the big top, and you see that the staff area is completely encased, surrounded by a tangled wall of thorns. Burley... Let's have a look here. Excuse me. Burley approaches the wall of thorns and sort of waves his hand to it, and you see it all like clicks and clacks around to an archway, and he leads you through. This is a circle of caravans. They're all of different shapes and sizes and colours. They've all been painted by individuals. Obviously, Flopsy and Holland, you recognise your own caravan. What would it look like? You do share it with like 4 other Witchlight hands.
Well, whereas others might try and keep it quite nice and not try and infringe on other people's living space too much, Flopsy has tried to give a little bit of design to part of it, but he thinks it's only fair to take up like 1/6 of the caravan, because that's what is his. So the rest of the caravan could have their own personal spin or just be completely plain. But one strip through the middle is completely garishly painted with loads of different trinkets and different useless things that have been stuck on from around the carnival. So any miscellaneous things other than buttons, because all of them will go to the calliope. There'll be flower petals, there'll be a spoon, there'll be just different things just stuck on in a myriad of different colours around this strip.
On the other hand, Holland spends as little time in his caravan as possible. He's always out trying to find someone to get up to shenanigans with or whatever. So his room is, like, if you were to see inside, it would be completely plain, just the essentials, bar the symbol of Lyra that Flopsy had painted above his bed for him.
Okay. So, Burley leads you to the most flamboyant wagon. It's very, very well decorated. It's professional in its appearance. It's grandiose. It's decorated in such a way, it's got these like big wooden corners to it that sort of curve around at the top, with just very ostentatious and fancy. It's a deep red with green sort of paint around the edges of it, and it just looks very grand. The front door to it is red. Burley steps up a couple of wooden stairs, and the when he does so, the entire wagon just sort of like slumps down a little bit with his weight, and he raps on the wooden door. He stops and, well, he jumps back down off the steps and waits a moment with his arms crossed, looking around as though he's guarding the place, essentially. But in the back of the wagon itself, you can hear sort of muffled voices like... It sounds like there's an argument going on and they may not have heard the knocking.
What's that noise?
I think there's an argument, and they didn't hear the knocking.
Burley sort of sighs, like, ugh, and just looks around patiently.
Do you know what this concerns, Burley? Is this good news, or... And he kind of listens to the arguing that's happening inside a little bit more. Is something the matter?
I don't know. Trouble in paradise, I suppose.
Wow. Wonder what that looks like.
He just...
Holland will do like a rabbit leg thump on the door.
Mm. When you get close to the door, roll a perception check.
Okay. I'm on the spells.
Oh, nice. Yeah, as you approach the door and lift your leg up, you hear Mr. Witch's voice saying, "You need to find a way to calm down." And Mr. Light, "I'll calm down when that Kenku pest is gone." "She knows nothing. She'll get frustrated soon enough and be on her way." "I hope you're right. Trust me." And then you rap on the door.
Bang, bang.
You hear footsteps, and the door creaks open, and Mr. Light's face looks down at you. It's almost strange the way it's lit, so it looks kind of scary at first when he opens it. His white face paint is sort of sweated off throughout the day a little bit, and he's got like streaks around his sort of face and mouth where skin is showing through, and it's a dark ashen grey underneath. And he goes, "Ah, here you are! Oh, and here you are all. Come in, come and meet us." And he sort of bows down and leads you into the wagon.
As I walk through, I knock on the door, even though it's already open.
Flopsy walks in after Aelar and does the exact same thing with a jaunty...
Aelar turns around and just sort of gives a smile to Flopsy.
Flopsy kind of gives a like, "Ooh, we do the same thing, how coincidental," kind of smile, and he kind of turns his head to the side a little bit.
Holland will crouch a little bit further so Felix doesn't bang his head on the top of the door.
Mm-hmm. Well...
Oh yeah, because he's being carried.
Yeah.
At that crouch, Felix isn't really looking where they are going, and does bang their head on the entrance to the door. Leans back like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," and poof! Vanishes. You feel a sudden lightness on your shoulders.
He'd reach back and try to... He'd assume he'd fallen off and try and grab at him.
And yeah, you reach around and there's just nothing there.
What? Felix?
Where's Felix gone?
What did you do to Felix?
Mr. Light's like, "It seems your friend had somewhere else to be."
Oh. Well, don't take that as like an insult or anything. I'm sure Felix is a very busy person. I know they're looking for a chicken.
Mr. Light sits down on his bed bunk and sort of like crosses his legs, pulls out a long sort of cigarette holder and just starts to flare up a little cigarette. And he puffs on it and blows a smoke into the room, and it does fill this kind of small domestic space with thick smoke. It's got sort of lavender tinge sort of smell to it. And he says, "Oh, don't worry. I'm not offended. We all know that Felix is a very busy person." And blows his smoke.
Holland's gonna crouch down on the other end of like the bed where he would normally sit and make himself all small and sort of put his ears down and try and be, you know, cutesy little baby as possible. Are we in trouble?
Mr. Light sort of has finished looking at his watch and he looks up at you and he's like, "Oh, no, there's nothing to worry about. It's, actually a good thing. Oh, as good as things can get." And he sort of looks over to Mr. Light. You notice that, that the way, like, obviously you're inside the building, you notice that, there are 2 beds in here. There's Mr. Witch's bunk, which is completely made up. Like, everything's tucked in. It's a grey sort of duvet set that he's got. It's all tucked in and completely untouched. There's almost a layer of dust over the pillow itself. You see that it's extremely neat. There are nothing adorning his area. He has a couple of shelves just containing sort of like a packet of mints and another clock with an alarm on top of it. But Mr. Light's bed itself, it's absolutely huge. It's like a king size. It pokes all the way into the middle of the room. The sheets on top are all just screwed up into a ball at the end. There are several different costumes that are thrown over the top of the duvet. Just face paint smears all over the bed. Just lots of little bits and bats. And you see as he's smoking this cigarette, in his left hand he's holding his scepter and he keeps his fist held tight. Mr. Light looks over at you guys, blowing a bit of smoke in your face. And he says, "I am delighted to finally get to meet you all. My scepter," he lifts it up, "oh, it has just been shimmering with glee. You have all provided so much joy into this carnival. Oh, it is just filling me with joy as well. I can barely contain myself."
Yay! I'm glad to hear that, I think.
"Now, let me have a look at you." He sort of hops down off his bed and stands tall above all of you. "Ah. May I ask, what are your reasons for visiting the Witchlight Carnival? I'm conducting somewhat of a survey." "Let's start with you." And he pops his little finger on top of Oswald's bald head and just like, beep. And why are you here, little man?
My name is Oswald.
Oswald, a pleasure to meet you. And he puts this cigarette holder in his mouth and then extends his right hand to you to shake your hand.
Oswald shakes his hand.
Why am I here?
Oh, but of course.
What, at the carnival? Or...
Yes, why are you here tonight?
Half because I go quite a lot, and half because this awful human person dragged me here. Elf person, elf. Dragged me.
And he points at Aelar.
He sort of squints his eyes at you a little bit, and he's like, "I do think I have seen you here before. Let me get a look at you. And he comes, like, uncomfortably close as he crouches down, his long sort of legs and arms, like, bending. He rests his arms on top of his bent knees and just leans his face in towards you and tilts his head a little. Ah,
Oswald
yes.
backs off.
I do believe I remember. And before, you never had ridden any of the rides.
What's it to you?
I just want to know what makes today so different.
I'm here for recreation.
Aha. And it seems that you're also here with friends.
Acquaintances?
Well, it is unusual, isn't it, Oswald?
Why?
Well, you were never here with friends before. I'm happy for you.
These are
Oswald.
not friends, these are acquaintances.
Are we your first acquaintances? Aelar says with a big beaming smile.
They're the first acquaintances I've ever known outside of important agendas.
Wow.
Well,
Aelar
anyway,
just smile.
I'm just delighted that you're here, and you, the beautiful elf. He extends himself again to sort of meet your eye level. Puffs on his cigarette and blows it. But this time he sort of like moves his mouth in such a way that it blows over your like left shoulder. He like puts his finger on his chin for a minute whilst he takes in your face and looks over at Mr. Witch. Does she remind you of anyone? Mr. Witch sort of like smirks and like rolls his eyes a little bit. And he goes, "Oh, yes, but not entirely." I almost got frightened when you'd entered.
Why?
Oh, you just look like somebody we ran into a few years ago. Oh. Perhaps even 100. It's been a while, hasn't it? Which sort of looks over at his calendar on his wall, and you see that there's been a lot of sort of tally marks on there. He just sort of nods, sort of, what's the word? As though he's drifting off thinking sentimentally.
Well, I mean, I have been here before.
Oh, but you were much younger.
Yeah. Well, I was only a child back then.
If I do recall, you were not alone then. What happened to that friend? Did they not like the carnival?
What do you mean?
Oh, you had a little friend with you.
Marielle? No, I didn't have Marielle back then.
Well, if they didn't like it, then there's nothing I can do, I suppose. But you could at least pass on feedback to...
But I wasn't with anyone.
He sort of looks a bit taken, like, eh? But he sort of just squints his eyes and says, "Well, anyway, what brought you back?"
Well,
He flicks
like
ash on his
Oswald.
own floor, and which tuts.
it's like Oswald says. We were traveling together. I was just, looking for somewhere to go. I mean, this is my first time leaving home, as far as I can remember. And I met Oswald, and we met we went to a big place with loads of pumpkins, and then we decided to come here.
Quite spontaneous, are we?
Well, I suppose.
Interesting. His gaze turns to Flopsy. Oh, and I know you. How are you enjoying your day off? He looks at Holland as well.
Well, just because I am not working today doesn't mean I don't get to go around and spread smiles, so I think it's kind of fitting that I accidentally bumped into and ingratiated myself with the happiest people at the carnival. And I actually think that my new friend Aelar would have actually said that all of us are here because of fate. Isn't that what you always say, Aelar?
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think he meant more of the specifics. I mean, I was travelling from the road that leads north to get to this carnival.
Mr. Witch pipes up with, well, any reason is a good reason, really, isn't it? Because it's brought you here.
Well, yeah. All roads lead to destiny.
And might I add, every single one of you has contributed to increasing the joy in this carnival well ahead of schedule. I'm very impressed.
I think we found ourselves a marvellous impromptu team, to be fair.
Well, that is why we want to offer you free tickets for your next visit. If you would like to stay over tonight, then you may have one of our spare wagons, and your ticket will be valid for tomorrow. If you do not want to sleep over, of course, you may come on another day. Flopsy and Holland, you can have another day off. Mr. Light's just beaming at the fact that they're giving you good news.
And what about Felix as well? Do they get free tickets?
Mr. Light looks at you as though, like, of course. Like, his eyes are like, how could you even suggest such a thing? And Light says, well, as soon as Felix is back from whatever serious mission they have been pulled to, then of course. But of course. I'd say Felix has bamfed in and out of this carnival for quite some time. I'd say that they are, a member.
Wow. It's like a big family.
Well, sometimes they don't stay very long, but that's up to them. Mr. Light sort of disregards. And outside you hear Burley obviously standing there like a guard. And he just goes, they're really busy in there. I wouldn't if I were you. And you hear, they need to know, Burley. I can't just stand there and let this happen. And you see Thacker.
Oh no.
He's sort of like, he's standing there trying to get past, and Burley like puts his hand out towards him, and Thacker's like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And Burley sort of like crosses his arms again. Is anyone looking out of the door, which is still wide open from entering?
Marielle turns to look.
I am.
Will.
Right. From the outside, Thacker just shouts, "Boss! Boss!" And Mr. Witch sort of stands up and starts to make towards Thacker. Peeps out. And he goes, you're gonna want to know about this. Oh boy, are you gonna know about this? Mr. Witch sort of like looks confused and nods and lets him in. Thacker comes in, a little bit out of breath. And he goes, "Ha! I've been waiting for my break all day to say this." He points right in Holland's face. And he says, "Holland has been hiding Skek this whole time."
Aelar gasps.
Mr. Witch and Mr. Light both like, look over at Holland.
That is not true.
Yes,
You
it
even
is.
looked earlier.
It is true. I knew about it in the feasting orchard. I knew about it when you all went to the big top. I knew about it this whole time.
That is not true. You're just upset because you had to cover Flopsy's shift, and now you're trying to get back at us because you're a big meanie.
Mr. Witch just looks at him and is like, what is the meaning of this? He says, well, I thought this earlier and I was wrong. Perhaps it's just a coincidence. And Thakor's like, no, I saw him. And he goes over to Holland's neckerchief and pulls it.
Yo, get away!
Your neck sort of like leans forward a little bit, and he looks down at the empty neckerchief, and he looks a bit shocked, and he goes, "So, where are you hiding him?"
I'm not hiding him anywhere. Give me that back.
Let's go.
Flacco, you're such a... You need to leave him alone. You're always bullying him.
Bullying him? Are you kidding me?
No.
He's been skipping work all day long, and he's just gonna get away with it like this? What kind of management is this? And he looks over at Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, and Mr. Light sort of goes a bit like red in the cheeks a little, through the patches that you can see. He looks over at Witch, and he sort of puts his Witchlight vein behind his back. And he goes, well, Thaco, I think you can see that there's been a little bit of a misunderstanding, hasn't there? Well, Skek is nowhere to be found in this room. And we haven't got down to the bottom of it, whether he has had a terrible accident or not. Don't be so quick to judge. Thaco, like, sort of like, and he just pushes past Holland and just leaves out of the caravans. You just hear him like, rack 'em, rack 'em, rack 'em, rack 'em, as he's going, like that guy off Home Alone. Burley turns around and he goes, are you okay in there? Mainly Holland.
Yeah. Holland's like indignantly like tucking back in his scarf.
He just gives you like a thumbs up and yep. Sorry, Aelar.
I didn't say anything.
Mr. Light, Mr. Witch, I don't like the idea of anybody throwing around bad words about people. Holland as well, you didn't need to be so mean to Thaco, but I know he came in charging like a bull around fragiles, but I am a little concerned, is that the right word? If Thaco wants to accuse Holland of hiding somebody all day, he's supposed to be watching over my feasting orchard, and I rather think that his priorities are elsewhere. Would I be able to check in on my feasting orchard, and would you be able to make sure that Thaco is maintaining it properly? I just wouldn't want his attention to be diverted to us.
Mr. Witch says, well, after that display, I'm having second thoughts about him having your feasting orchard, to be honest, especially if you're going to be off another day.
Well, that's what I was thinking. If we do indeed take tomorrow as our next day off, I'm rather... Well, I don't want to speak ill of him, but he did seem to not have the demeanour that I envision for my feasting orchard now that I've assumed the management of it. I think I'd rather get somebody else in charge, if that's okay.
I believe you're quite right. Do you have anybody in mind? Well,
off the top of my head, there's so many competent people around, but, I mean, Candle's running the Hall of Illusions, Ernest would never leave the Calliope for the day. You know what? Rather than take somebody from somewhere else, I think the boys in the orchard, you know, if they were given the proper pep talk before they started, I kind of think they can run themselves, really. I mean, I envisage myself as pulling little strings and guiding people in little ways, but most of those boys they've been doing their jobs for so long that they kind of work like clockwork, you know? And I think they could probably pull it off themselves.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially the cherry pie boys. Yeah.
Oh yes, the cherry pie boys.
We'll get the orchard boys on it. But yeah, you can relieve Thacker of his post. Unless you want me to come with you. He's in a bit of a bad mood, obviously.
Well, I don't mind. I can try and cheer him up at the same time. He seemed to be looking forward to a break, so it might come as good news for him. But if you would like to come along, just to make sure it goes smoothly, I wouldn't say no.
Well, if you don't need my help, then I'm going to stay here. Mr. Light sort of looks a bit like... He sort of like scrunches his nose up a little bit at that. And he goes, "Oh, don't worry. I'll come with you. And I'll show him what for." He sort of winks a little bit and starts to walk out of the caravan.
When I leave the caravan, I knock on the door.
Mr. Witch says, "Yep." When you knock on the door.
Oh no, I was just leaving.
Okay. He turns around to get on with something. And Flopsy does the same.
Flopsy... he kind of goes up to the door, like, lets everyone else out first, and then kind of does the lightest kind of tap with his knuckles where it's like barely audible, and then carries on walking.
Oh yeah, Mr. Witch doesn't notice. Alright. So, you approach the thickets again, and they all turn into an archway. Mr. Light sort of like bends down to like dip underneath it. And you emerge back into the carnival, which is in extremely high spirits. It is about like sort of like 10 past 1 in the morning. And Mr. Light is just bounding around. As soon as he sort of jumps into the crowd of people, he sort of, as he's walking, gets a little bit distracted by being like, "Hello there! Oh, how is it going? Ah, you look beautiful in those wings." And he just like compliments passers-by as he bounds through all of the guests. "Let's take a shortcut." And he just hops through here and leaps over this this river. "Oh, hello, Diana. Always keeping that smile on your face, I see." She sort of sighs as he passes by. And you get to the feasting orchard. Where's the feasting orchard? Okay. You get in there, and you see, Flopsy, that it's a bit emptier than usual, especially given what time it is after the Big Top extravaganza. Many people do come for dinner afterwards. There's a couple of orchard boys knocking about, and you see that the cherry pie boys are sort of standing, tapping their feet at the cherry pie stall. You see Thacker by the stage, and there are a couple of people that are sat like around the front of the audience area that are like whispering to each other, looking at the stage. You get the impression that they kind of want to do a performance, but they don't really want to go through Thacker to do it. The stage is currently empty. Winston sees you, and he goes, "You alright, Flopsy?"
Well, hi, Winston. I expected to hear music or something, the pitter-patter of dancing feet. What's happening?
"Well, this will never do," says Mr. Light, and he starts like jumping around and like trying to entertain all the guests. So he's indisposed. "Yeah, you know what? I don't think he's very good at this." He points over at Thacker. "He's been watching me suspiciously." as if I know something's going on. I don't have a clue of anything that's going on. But he's treating me like I do. Thakor
brings a
sneers.
bad name to he brings a let's start again. He brings a bad name to lavender lipstick.
Well, either way, he's just been grumpy.
What's
Grumpy
wrong with
doesn't
being
really-
grumpy?
Yeah, Winston looks down at you. And he goes, well, it's a bit different, innit, really? When you're grumpy, I've noticed you don't take it out on other people around you. When Thakor's grumpy, he makes everyone's business his own and meddles in it. I saw him chugging his way over. He couldn't contain himself. To be honest, Jeremy shouldn't have come blabbing anyway. He should have kept it to himself.
Jeremy was in here?
Aye. Jeremy came in. He were flying around with other pixies. Some pixies were having dinner. They were flying around. Well, to be honest, it's because they can get bigger stuff for cheaper here, right? Flying around, whispering, but they weren't whispering. They were practically shouting it. They thought they were being sly. They tried to have a look for Skek. Couldn't find him. Thakor overheard. Bam. Couldn't help himself.
What if we, silence him?
What do you mean?
Ethically.
Ethically? How could we ethically silence him?
To tell him to be quiet and convince him.
Alright, go on
is
then.
anybody here rich?
Oh, well, I'm certainly not rich. I'm an apprentice.
Neither.
Well, if you want to say something, your name's Oswald, innit? If you want to say something, go on, I dare you.
What, to Thakor?
Aye.
I'll back you up, Oswald.
What, you mean talk some sense in?
Well, you want to silence him, don't you?
Well,
Ethically.
Oswald.
It needs to be planned.
Oswald, we can do good guard, bad guard. Do you want to be the good guard or the bad guard?
I don't play games. Aelar, I don't play games.
But, well, it's
Aelar, I don't.
but Oswald, we could scare him into silence, ethically.
What sort of information does Thakor have again?
Well, 'cause that Jezza came in here, mouthing off about Skek scarving off. Thakor overheard it. And by golly gosh, were he excited to go and tell it. He did look like he had his suspicions though anyway.
And what is the worst case scenario if he spills the beans?
Well, when I started my training not long ago, they said to us, if you scarve off your posts, you get sacked.
That's not really worth telling anybody.
Well, if you don't want Skek to get sacked, you'll make sure you keep it hush. Anyway, speaking of getting sacked, I need to resume my post. And he goes back to the cupcake stall, which has done the best out of all of the sort of food stalls. You can see that it's the emptiest. The most cupcakes have been eaten. Mr. Light sort of bounding around, and he sort of cheered up a few of the guests, and he comes over and he goes, well, tough crowd. Sort of smiles at you. Well,
I think we have a pretty good idea for something at least. Oswald, you were going to talk to Thakor, weren't you? We made the decision that because Thakor seems to be quite a grumpy person, maybe a similar person could bring out the best in him. Isn't that right, Oswald?
Oswald's not grumpy.
Maybe talk some sense into him.
Yes, maybe you could get him to see the good side of Grumpy, like yourself.
He's just rough.
I'm not too sure that's how the good side of Grumpy.
Well, if you would indeed call yourself Grumpy, I thought that was something that you wore with pride, but if not, I'll abstain from calling it you again, but...
Right.
And without saying anything else, Oswald just walks over to Thaco.
Mr. Light holds his hands together like, this is going to be interesting. And you see Thaco smoking his fat cigar, leaning up against this stage.
Marielle walks alongside him for support.
And he goes, you don't want to perform, do you? Because I'm not going to let you.
Oh God, no. That is my worst nightmare.
Well, that'll be my worst nightmare too. And he puffs his cigar.
Have you got another one of those that I can buy?
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion. I didn't have my character sheet open on. Oh dear.
He looks down at you and squints and is like, get your own!
As soon as he says that,
I'll buy them.
As soon as he says that, Marielle jumps up and snaps his cigar out of his mouth and gives it to Oswald.
Roll like a grapple check for Marielle.
Yeah. So that's just athletics. 19.
Nice. Marielle sort of like jumps up and snatches the cigar out of his mouth.
Gives it to Oswald.
Thaco like sort of looks down and he goes, "Oi!" and kicks at Marielle.
Oh, Marielle would like to jump out of the way.
Dex save.
Corner.
Oh, nice. She jumps out of the way and like skitters off safely to you with the lit cigar in her mouth. Thaco's like, great, and he pulls out another one. You see that he's got a pack of shitloads of cigars, and he starts to light it, and he's like, "What do you want anyway?"
Just give me a cigar and then I'll talk.
I told you to get your own.
I'll pay for it. What do you want?
I think 5 copper will do the trick.
Oh, listen to him, Oswald.
How about I give you this
And cast sleep on him.
Alright, okay. You have got to roll 5d8. And the total is how many hit points of the creature the spell can affect. So if you exceed his hit points... he puts the cigar to his lips, and lifts up his little tinderbox, flicks it, the flame lights in his hand. He raises it up to the end of the cigar, and you see the flame start to wiggle at the end of the cigar. His hand starts to shake, his eyes get droopy, and he just thunks down onto the floor. And he starts snoring. The cigar rolls out of his mouth, and the tinderbox light extinguished in his hand.
Sleeping
Oswald.
on the job. That's not very professional.
Oswald picks up the cigar and the tinderbox and lights it.
Puffs on it.
He sure listen. I've talked some sense into that boy.
He should have listened.
He should have let me talk to him. Should have. Well, all well ends well, and Oswald is now going to walk back to the group.
As soon as you turn your head towards the rest of the group, you see Mr. Light's like slapping his leg and pissing himself laughing, and he's like, oh, that's the funniest thing I've seen all day. And he like bounds over and looks down at Thaco, and he repeats the joke that Aelar says, sleeping on the job, are we, Thaco? He grabs his legs and drags him. And as he's dragging him out of the feasting orchard, he's like, "Don't worry, Flopsy, I will tell him what's going on." And he just drags him out.
Can I also send him a message to wake up to?
No, it can only be whilst he's conscious.
Right.
Fine. Okay, right, so Mr. Light drags him out, and he's just laughing the whole time. He thinks it's the most hilarious thing ever. Alright.
Did Oswald get a cigar?
Yeah, Oswald's got the cigar, puffing on it right now.
Marielle is also smoking a cigar. sat on Oswald's head.
Where did you get that?
And he whacks, trying to like wax it out of the chicken's mouth.
Get off! Get off! Bad for your lungs.
Well, why are you smoking, Oswald? If it's bad for your lugs.
I'm not really smoking.
Are you playing a prank?
No, I'm just taking a few drags to make it look cool, and then I'm gonna wait until like the attention has sort of got away from it, and I'm gonna throw it away.
Everyone, look how cool Oswald looks.
I really
Okay,
like somebody.
now look away. Now look away.
What are you doing?
I was just getting everyone to see how cool you are.
See, I
And
just
then-
trusted you. I just trusted you with a piece of information.
No, I didn't tell anyone. I just told everyone that you look cool. And then I told them to look away.
Did everyone look away?
Marielle did.
Well,
Flopsy would have looked away at the stands and stuff while Aelar was yelling to look away.
Holland does that like thing of like where he's turning his head but he's trying to look with like the very corner of his peripheral vision.
Aww. Yeah.
Oswald just keeps the cigar in the mouth anyway until for an extra 10 minutes.
Well, what if Aelar takes the cigar out of Marielle's mouth? Should I, Oswald? Should I, you know?
What should we do?
Holding the cigar and like sort of pointing at it. Should I, you know? Should I?
They're not very good to do as you play.
Flopsy.
Yes, hello. Oh,
Should
both
I?
of you do look pretty cool right now, I must say.
Should I smoke?
Well, that depends. Where did you get this from? Is this one of Thaco's?
Yeah.
I can tell from the smell. Well, Mr. Light had one with a nice fragrant smell before. Remember in the caravan? That was really good. I think this one would be the exact opposite of that. I smelt Thaco's smoke before, and it made me want to cough quite a lot. If you'd like that sensation, then go ahead, but I don't think it would be very tasty.
Aelar nods at Flopsy and then puts it back in Marielle's mouth. Marielle continues to smoke it. Yeah, you're probably right, Flopsy.
Well, Marielle does seem to have a taste for them. So,
Marielle
maybe-
has a very rich taste. All white wine and cigars and smoked fish.
maybe I need to find some food stall for the feasting orchard that would cater to a refined palate such as Marielle's. Has Marielle ever served as a food taster before?
Well, I mean, she did lick up all the custard from Felix, so I suppose she tasted that.
That is true, that is true. Well, I could maybe get the Orchard Boys to rustle up some new ideas, and Marielle could tell us whether they're good or bad, whether we should go ahead with them or not.
You'd have to ask Marielle.
Flopsy leans really close and gets the smoke all up in his furry face. Marielle, would you be interested in some light employment in the feasting orchard?
Roll an animal handling.
Yes, DM.
Yeah, for real.
Marielle like considers it, and then she sort of puts her foot out and like does some sort of gesture. And Aelar turns to Flopsy and says, "I think she wants to get paid for it."
Oh, do you reckon I could afford Marielle?
Well, she does like to get paid in food. I don't really think she understands what the assignment is.
And he leans closer to Marielle again. I think I can find a solution that serves both of us. I'll need a new cabin or stall here for it. But you could try everything first before the rest of the crowds get here, and you could say whether it's good enough for anybody else or whether it should belong in the bin. Not that any of it probably will. You won't really be tasting any bad food, not from these guys.
Marielle sort of wiggles her head from side to side, like she's considering. And then she puts her wing up as if it's a salute.
I think that's a yes. Right. I'll get Winston constructing a new cabin for the feasting orchard. It can be the testing orchard. I'll come up with a proper name, unless you have a name for it, Marielle. And he listens intently to the chicken.
Marielle starts squawking loudly into your ear.
Well, we can workshop a name. But I'll get contracts written up. I'll get the ball rolling on this. Yes, this is a great idea. Thank you, Aelar.
Aelar?
Well, you brought Marielle. I thought this was your idea. Maybe it was mine, or maybe Marielle's. Everyone can share in the idea.
I think you should be thanking Marielle.
Is there a particular way that Marielle likes to be thanked? I know she likes sitting in hats, but is there a part here? And he reaches like behind Marielle's neck and starts like trying to stroke the chicken. Is there a special bit? I know that some people like it behind the ear, just here. And he like scruffs his paw right behind Marielle's ear.
Marielle, as if she's using the cigar to point, like juts the cigar in the direction of your bow tie.
Oh, the bow tie? I suppose I have quite a few more. And he pulls the bow tie off and puts it around Marielle.
Marielle now has a bow tie. Yep. Okay.
Alright, so you're in the feasting orchard. What's the plan?
Why don't we all sit down and have a talk?
Okay, I like talking.
Does sound like a good idea. We could get some food if everybody's hungry. I haven't eaten in a good 20 minutes.
What does everyone think?
Well, I need to make sure that everybody in the feasting orchard knows what's going on. So while you guys find a seat, I'll go and rustle up a nice little dessert buffet for us. And yes, you find the seat. I'll see if anybody wants to get up on the stage as well, because it's been silent for too long here.
You serve chicken drumsticks for Marielle.
Chicken drumsticks.
It's her favourite meal. She really likes music.
Wait. You have chicken. eats chicken.
No, chicken drumsticks. They're drumsticks made for chickens.
Right,
They're sort of shaped like little legs.
right, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, this is why I think Marielle is a perfect employee for me. I'll find so many gaps in the market that we're not filling. I'll go and see what we do have, and next time we'll try and have those.
Okay.
Flopsy's just going to go around all the different stalls, telling everybody the plan of them running the Feasting Orchard themselves as a conglomerate. And he's going to select a different product from each stall. So he's going to get cherry pies, cupcakes, crumbles, just loads of different things. And he's kind of like a waiter. He's stacking them down his arm. Loads of plates and bowls and stuff like that, and he's just going to kind of be walking like a scarecrow with loads of dishes on him by the end of it, just collecting stuff.
Nice. So yeah, you take all the food to the one of the tables you all sat down at?
Yeah. As you come back, Aelar's sort of explaining the logistics of what a chicken drumstick is to Oswald. It's like hot dogs. They're not really made with dogs, they're just called that.
Well, yes, that is fine. I was just a bit confused, is all.
I didn't know what everybody liked, so I got everything. And he just kind of lays the food out in a big line in front of us, like Hogwarts buffet style. There's more food than there is table space, so he starts kind of stacking plates amongst other plates without making the food get squashed. And kind of just fills the table with a load of different multicolored steaming foods. Well, it's family style, so anybody can just tuck in. Did I miss anything special while I was gone?
No, I think you've got everything. You've got apple crumble, you've got rhubarb and custard, you've got curly whirlies, you've got Kit Kats, you've got everything.
Yes, I would advise starting with the ice cream unless you like soup more, because it'll become that eventually.
That's a good point.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to...
You were talking.
Well, I was just going to ask Holland. Did you want to get Skek back? That there is enough food here to share. Or do you know if he started working?
Well, I was just thinking that. I don't know if he's still on the clock. I don't want him to, to pull him away again. It would be even worse for him.
Well, Mr. Light did say earlier that they aren't aware of the reason why Skek hasn't shown up today. Maybe if Skek did have a justifiable reason for not being in, he wouldn't be in any trouble at all, would he?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. I don't want to get him into trouble.
Well, if he's back at work, I'm sure we can just say hello to him while we race snails later. Everybody does want to race snails, don't they?
Oh, of course.
Is that what everyone wants to do next? I mean, we've not really done a lot of planning for this night, and I find it kind of funny that we are emitting so much joy and having so much joy, but we just kind of see things and do things. I mean, I've always dreamt if I was a guest at the carnival again, I'd have an agenda and do things tightly and make sure that I can get everything in exactly when it should, for the joy to just peak at the exact right moments. But I think just flowing through the carnival has kind of made it even better.
Well,
So-
it's like they always say, you can't plan joy, it's destiny. Aelar says that as if that's a real saying, but it's so obviously not.
Well, I'm sure Lyra would say that for sure.
Exactly.
Maybe it is wrong to leave Skek out then.
And at least Skek can say that he showed up for work.
That's true. I tell you what, why don't I go get him? And Holland bounds off. I'll take something with me, and he just literally sticks his hands into the just a massive pile of plates and just pulls whatever he can. Thanks, Flopsy, and shoves it in his pockets and bounds off towards the snail racing.
Alright, okay. So you're gonna come all the way down here. Yeah, you just sort of like set your sights on the snail racing section. And I suppose you don't really like want to get distracted by anything along the way. Is that true?
No, probably not.
So you get your way there, and you go and the snails are all sort of like lined up against the starting line, and you can see that there are a couple of fairies flying around with big like squishy sponges that are really sodden and dripping and just like flying and scrubbing the sides of the snail shells. And yeah, these snails are like giant, they're taller than you, and you can see all around on the muddy ground there are just these thick like trails of slop that just you sort of like when you walk in there you try not to like walk into the ditch where the snail trails are, but you do come up the side banking up to Skek, who's scrubbing down a snail. He turns over to you, he looks a bit out of breath, and he goes, "Oh hey, where's everyone?"
Oh, we're all at the feasting orchard. I came to get you.
Oh, I don't think I can go anywhere. I was away for long enough.
What, so you just start cleaning the snail?
Well, they asked me where I'd been, and you look over and there's a couple like darker haired elves sort of standing around. One of them's got like longer hair than the other, and flying around. They're all sort of like looking over, like eyeing you a little bit, but they look more curious than suspicious. And he puts his little hand to his mouth and he goes, "So I told them that the reason why I wasn't here was something to do with the stuff that we're not allowed to speak about. I thought that'd be a good, a good reason."
Oh yeah, no one wants to stay on that for too long, do they?
No.
Oh, that's brilliant.
But I think it might be, pushing it if I go anywhere else.
Oh. Well, I mean, if you don't think it's worth the risk, I don't want to get you in trouble. I brought you some food. He just brings out the crumbles from his pocket.
Oh, yeah.
I think one... this is ice cream. You gotta eat it quick before it melts any more. This is two cupcakes scrumpled together. I'm sorry, I was running, so they kind of got squished.
Oh, they look great. Why don't you put them on that bleacher over there, and I'll tell everybody. Because, they're big enough for all of us, and, it might help. He just sort of flies over, and you see him, like, pointing to the other guys, and they sort of, like, make this face of, like, that's what Holland came here for, and come flying over. They just sort of go like, hey Holland, as they fly over and say thanks and stuff. Skek pulls like a chunk of the cupcake out and he's like, flopsy turvy, my favourite. Eats it. He's like, thanks for this. I feel less left out now.
Aw, I'm gonna miss you, buddy.
Well, I mean, if you're not doing anything when we close, we could have a drink.
Yeah, sounds fun.
He smiles and nods his head. You know that when he says drink, he's referring to tea at the Bubble Pop teapot.
Yes, of course. I will meet you there. How long is it until finishing?
About 3 hours.
Oof. We'll meet you. We'll meet you there then.
Oh no, sorry, about 2 hours and 2.5 hours. All right, okay. Have a good rest of your day off.
Thanks. I'd say you too, but. Okay, bye.
It's okay. Alright. And you rabbit run your way back.
Can I go through Pixie Kingdom just to be a bit inconvenient?
Oh, sure, of course. Alright. Let me flip.
Oh no, I think Holland means he's running through Pixie.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
just
you were-
like jumping my way through just
Oh,
to
right.
be a bit.
I thought you were going to
Just
go
to
through and
slide
like,
Jeremy.
have a little look at Jeremy.
Yeah, not stop by, just sort of
glare at
like, give him a
him.
little snooty look.
Oh,
I know what you did, and just keep going.
right, okay. I was going to say, I was trying to find that whole Pixie Kingdom area then.
No,
No,
just
no.
literally just running through to be annoying.
Alright. I thought you meant to be annoying to me, as if to be like, bring out another,
No,
you know
no.
what I mean? Right, okay. So yeah, you hop your way back to the feasting orchard. What's everyone been talking about whilst Holland's been gone?
So Flopsy, how did you start working at the Witchlight Carnival?
Me? Well, it was so long ago. I feel like I've worked here for all I can remember, really. I remember that I came here as a child. Much like yourself, I think, and I just remember being taken away by all of the colours, the lights, the singing, the dancing, everything that was happening around me, and I wanted to work here so badly. I don't think I really had anywhere else to go. I can't really remember too much about how I got here, but, well, Derla found me. Yes, I can't remember who took me here, but anyway, I got in well with Derla. She's really nice, and she showed me a few places around the carnival. At the end of the day, all of the other kids that were with me, with Derla, they got picked up by parents, friends, brothers, sisters, and then I was left over. And, well, I kept going back to all of the food stalls, stuffing my face with all the cookies and candy floss. And, after a while, I told them I really fancied a cupcake, and nobody really seemed to be doing those here. So, well, as a plucky little kid, I showed them what they were, how to make them. And, before I knew it, I was running my own stall. Well, not straight away. I was helping other people and showing them how, and it took me a while to become the manager of my own stall, but yes, it just kind of happened, really. There wasn't a formal interview process or anything, I just kind of found my way here and worked my way up.
Well, I guess fate must have led you here.
And fate leads Holland straight into the feasting orchard at this point.
Well, hey guys. No luck. He's stuck at the snail racing.
That's a shame.
Aelar, from a tent behind you, you hear a, "Oh, that's a shame," in your voice.
I turn around.
You see the tent. It's like
Echo.
it's like a toilet tent, you know, like a sort of rectangular, standing up on its end.
I say, Echo.
Silence.
I go over to the tent. Guys, I just need to have a wee. And then I like knock on the flaps and like open it.
Yeah. So the tent is like, say, like 30 feet away from your table. So you walk all the way up there. And you sort of tilt and have a look to try and have a look around the back. You notice that round the back there's like a bunch of like stock boxes and crates and things like that, and like sort of the bushes that surround the feasting orchard. It's sort of walled off from there, and you can't see anything.
Is there somebody here?
Silence. If you look around and turn to look behind it, there's nobody there.
Must have been the wind. I say as I return back.
As soon as you turn your back, you hear, "Must have been the wind."
Can anyone else at the table hear the second, like the repeat of the voice?
Yeah, you can hear it.
How are you doing that?
How am I doing what?
Say something again.
Something again. Why?
Oh, it didn't happen that time. I thought it was an amusing trick that you were doing. I swear I heard you repeat yourself.
Oh, no, that was the wind. I said must have been the wind, and it agreed with me. So it's just the wind. Wait, that's strange. Is that a thing at this carnival?
Well, the wind doesn't often agree with me in such a way. Holland, have you ever had the wind agree with you by repeating you?
Oh, well, you know, Lyra flows through everything, so it could have just been her.
I guess Lyra sounds a lot like me.
I was just wondering if it would happen with anybody else. Oswald, what do you think of the crumble that you're eating?
Dry.
No, it didn't agree with you on that one. But I'll be sure to pass your feedback on.
That would be brilliant.
Well, anyway, unless the wind needs me, I will be going back to the table. Bye, wind. I returned to the table.
I returned to the table a while ago.
Yeah, I thought you had to, yeah.
Well, I'm at the table then. Sure. I
Otherwise,
meant more like
I
sit down.
Talk to you. All right.
It should be noted as well that, you know, throughout this entire meal, Marielle's just sort of been eating, not just off of Flopsy's plate, but whatever Flopsy picks up to eat, Marielle eats it. And Aelar's just giggling as it happens.
Flopsy picks up a bit of cupcake, like he breaks it apart with his hands and gets like a bite-sized bit in his hand and just kind of weighs it up and then brings it closer to his mouth. It's Marielle. And Flopsy kind of smiles and sees this as a bit of a challenge and tries to do the next bit faster, but then Marielle just grabs it before he puts it to his mouth.
Oswald. Oh, sorry.
I was going to try and outsmart Marielle. He dips his face closer to the plate and starts just eating it like a chicken would, rather than with his hands.
Marielle, like, is at this point, you know, rises to the challenge and is basically just eating out of Flopsy's mouth at this point.
Oswald, what are you doing at this moment?
Oswald's just chilling out.
Smoking a cigar.
No, he binned it a while ago.
Is he sort of like watching Flopsy and Aelar, or is he looking around?
He's sort of just looking around. I'll can I roll a perception for just generally observing the area?
Yes. Okay. Let's have a look here. As you're looking around, you sort of pay attention to the orchard boys are sort of running around waiting on people. They're doing like little magic tricks for them and stuff, and trying to like bring the atmosphere up a little bit, and it's working. It's you know, now that they've taken over a little bit more, the people are more likely to want to get want to join in with things, and you see that a few of them are leading people on stage, and they're sort of planning what they're going to do before they put on a performance. You sort of, as you're looking around, your attention is away from everybody else at the table, and you hear Aelar say, "Oh, Flopsy, I like you so much better." That's what you hear. Oswald.
Oh, sorry, I thought you just took it to Holland.
No, that's what you saw when you were looking around. You saw,
right.
that stuff at the feasting orchard, and you hear Aelar say that.
Right.
You hear Aelar say,
Okay.
"Oh, Flopsy, I like you so much better." Because as you were looking around, you weren't looking at the rest of the party.
Right. Yeah, okay. Oswald will keep the information to himself for now.
So he looks back. Does he look at Aelar and Flopsy or anyone? Or does he just keep looking around?
No, that's it. He just observed.
Okay, he's taking it in. Right. Everybody else also heard that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he didn't perceive anything beyond just the regular stuff.
No.
That's fine.
I didn't say that.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment, but better than what?
Better than Tuesdays? I don't know. I didn't say it.
Oh, was this the wind again?
Might have been.
Flopsy's going to kind of look around the immediate area to see if anything's amiss in the feasting orchard.
Alright, well,
Particularly anything flapping, because he thinks it's the wind.
Mhm.
$12.
Yeah, you just sort of get taken by. When you look around, the sentiment takes over, and you focus more on the happy feasters in the feasting orchard. Yeah, your eyes rest on the orchard boys who are doing such a great job. They're like, you know, they've got a lot of energy. They care. They're not just standing around tapping their feet.
Aelar stands up and clicks her fingers. I know what it is. Is nobody going to ask what?
Oh, sorry. What's that?
It's that nasty bird man, the one who was saying horrible things to the lady.
Do you mean Palasha?
That's
The
one.
singing mermaid? Yes.
That nasty bird man was saying things.
Well, they were saying some rather awful things before, but they complimented me this time. What makes you think it was them?
Well, maybe it wasn't a compliment.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. If I say I like you better than what? Better than everyone else at the table, because we could all hear it. So that hurts Holland, and it especially hurts Oswald.
Now that you mention it, I wouldn't want anything to hurt you, Oswald.
Thank you, I suppose. I'll be fine.
I put my hand on Oswald's shoulder. Oswald, you are still my best friend.
Yep. Okay. I mean, you know what? You're my most familiar acquaintance. should I say?
Aelar smiles.
Oswald looks straight, but it looks like he's trying to smile.
Aww.
And then he just gets frustrated because he can't smile.
Are you okay, Oswald? You look, annoyed.
Now, what were we talking about? What were we talking about before?
We were talking about, Flopsy's backstory.
Oh, I think we had moved on to Oswald being hurt, and you do seem to be hurt by something, Oswald. Are you sure you're okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Oh, well, we could talk more about me if we want, but it's just a silly old story. I mean, is everyone done with the food? We could go somewhere else and try one of the other attractions.
Aelar pulls out the Witchlight map that she just has. Well, let's look. So we haven't been to the dragonfly rides, and we haven't been to the snail races. Is there anywhere else we haven't been?
I don't think so. Although we do need to go back to Bubble Pop Teapot when Skek's shift is over.
Oh, is there going to be a party or a shindig with Treaclewise?
Well, we're going to get a drink. That can entail whatever you want it to, Flopsy. We can party the night away.
Shindig it is. Well, I'm excited for that, but what are we going to do to fill the hours before that happens? We could always go on something again as well if we have time.
Aelar looks really giddy. Like she's sort of shaking with, like, glee.
Oh, do you have an idea?
Did you say a party?
Oh, well, every night at the Witchlight Carnival is the opportunity for a party.
I've never been to a party.
Really? You of all people here, I would have assumed that you would have been to many parties.
Never. Well, there were no parties to be had.
Oh, well, we have to have one now, don't we, everyone?
Absolutely. And we got to make it a proper one as well.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Oswald's sad.
Have you ever been to a party before, Oswald?
No. Too loud. Disruptive.
Well, maybe we can go to a party where half of it is quiet, and you can read books, because then it's considerate of everyone, and the other half is really fun, and in a different way. Aelar says, covering her tracks.
I suppose I can bear it for you guys.
That's the spirit.
Oh, sorry.
What do you wear to parties?
Well, I normally wear, well, I always bring my chicken foot necklace with me wherever I go. It brings me luck, but it also looks great.
I should have asked somebody else.
You have a chicken foot.
Yeah, I take my necklace off and sort of show it to Holland. It's made of iron. It's or like steel or something, some sort of metal that you commonly find, and it's shaped in the shape of a chicken foot.
Oh, no way. We're kind of luck twins, you could say. And he reaches down to like his belt and tucked in, and he pulls out a white rabbit's foot.
A lucky rabbit's foot?
Yeah, look at us. No wonder fate brought us together.
Exactly. Was it fate or was it destiny?
Or was it Lyra?
Oh, it could be.
Anyway, what were you saying? Sorry.
Well, we were talking about what everyone wears to parties, and I think, unless there's a strict dress code, which I don't think we'll have at this one, you can wear whatever you like. You can make a statement with what you wear, or whatever makes you feel comfortable, or whatever makes you feel, I don't know, that special party thing where you feel like you're on fire, but in a good way. Oh, I've got so many outfits, then everyone would be free to pick from them if they'd like.
Marielle starts strutting along the table like a catwalk, and you're not doing that sort of chicken swagger that they have. And she's sort of showing off the bow tie that she was given by Flopsy.
Oh, and outfits that make you want to do this, like Marielle. Strut your stuff, so to speak.
Also,
And it kind
do
of
you have any
smiles at Marielle.
outfits that make you want to strut your stuff?
I don't know what any of their words mean.
It's like what Marielle's doing.
I don't want to lay eggs and be a chicken. No.
No, Marielle only lays one egg. And she lays the egg. And then proceeds to swallow it back up again. As you have seen before.
Oh yes, that. What sort of race that by mine? Well, I don't have any outfits that would make me strut my stuff, as you say. But I do have a smarter robe than this. Maybe I can wear that.
Well, I like your glasses. Maybe we could find you some glasses that are shaped like love hearts.
Maybe we could not.
We could find some ruby tinted lenses.
Or we could not.
What about sunglasses?
And is the party going to be outside in daytime?
Aelar looks to Holland and Flopsy.
No, it's going to be in 2 hours.
Wow.
No. No sunglasses.
Well, what about nightshades then?
No.
No?
I like my glasses, they help me see.
Well,
Don't
that's
need no
always important.
fancy glass.
And they do suit you very well.
Like,
What about you, Holland? What are you gonna wear?
Well, I'll just wear this. I'm more interested in, getting the party started than,
Yeah.
as soon as possible, to be honest.
Yeah, and I actually forgot to bring any spare clothes. So I'll be wearing this for like the next year or so. But don't worry, I'll wash it.
Well, you could borrow something of Flopsy's. He's got really good taste, Holland says with almost 100% sincerity.
Well, if his taste is as good as his cupcakes.
The entire conversation about clothes, Flopsy's foot has been tapping faster and faster on the floor as he tries to shut himself up. Well, I do have a few bits of clothes that everybody could borrow if they wanted to. They're just back in the staff area at my caravan. We could go there just before the party if everybody wants to get ready to boogie down.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, we need something that's going to make, and he pulls his pocket watch out, we need to make the next 2 hours go as fast as they can. What's everybody's plans? Dragonflies?
They're the closest. And we haven't been on the dragonfly rides.
Over by the riverbank, where you know that the gondola swans have been softly passing through, you hear, yoo-hoo! And you look over and it's Featherine. She's blinking her long eyelashes in your direction.
Aelar waves to Featherine and then runs all along over.
She says, "Have I got news for you?
Oh, go on, let's hear it.
I've heard it on the river that Mr. Light is considering one of your group for the Witchlight Monarch."
Oh! What's the Witchlight Monarch?
Oh, it is when you are crowned the Monarch of the Witchlight Carnival.
Like a queen? Or a king? Or a monarch?
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool.
But you didn't hear it from me. And she sails away, and there are two halfling people on a date holding hands, just looking confused as to why they've stopped on the ride for a bit.
I wave to them and I say, "I remember you."
There's a halfling guy who's sort of bedecked in flowers as he sits there, and he sort of looks a bit disappointed, but his little halfling girlfriend sort of hugs him and cheers him up.
We saw them earlier.
It's not the same ones.
Oh, then I didn't say that I remember them because I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, they're not the same ones. But yeah, they pass through.
Guys, have you heard the news?
The news?
That's right, the news. One of us, and it might be Marielle, has been put for consideration of the Witchlight Monarch.
Flopsy's foot starts tapping.
Is that important?
I don't know, but if Featherine's told us, it must be something. It must be juicy gossip.
Yeah, you guys know, so the ones who work here, know that getting the Witchlight Monarch gives you a charm, and you can sprout a beautiful pair of butterfly wings, and as long as you have the wings you can fly, equal to your walking speed. It lasts an hour and you can use the charm 3 times. So that's one of the things, the good things that befalls the Witchlight Monarch.
Oh yeah, that they do that once a year, I think.
It's once every night.
Once every night. I'm not so good with time. It's kind of my thing.
Oswald is, I think. I mean, assuming. I mean, looking at him, he seems like someone who knows time.
Well,
So you were saying, Holland?
once a night, and they crown someone like basically the person who's had like the optimal amount of fun.
Wow.
So
Well,
that's one of us, I guess.
to quote a wise man, that sounds delightful.
I think it will be Aelar.
Aelar blushes.
I mean, I've never won it. Have you, Flopsy?
Well, we're never really eligible to win it, are we, Holland? It is always such a beautiful ceremony, though. I mean, if I were to win it, I'd have to take off this silly old thing, and he nudges the sequined hat that he's still wearing. But I'd gladly do that to put a crown in its place, but I truly hope it is one of us. Wouldn't it be so special to receive the crown, or even stand next to your friend getting the crown?
That would be really cool. Maybe it is Marielle.
Marielle would look great in a crown.
Oh, she
Have
really
you
would.
had the most fun you can possibly have, Marielle?
Marielle sort of looks around like she's contemplating, and then gently bows her head quite regally.
Oh. Holland curtsies.
I think she's already in the role.
Maybe we can get a crown made and wings made specially for her.
Ah, that'd be so nice. Marielle goes back to eating the sequins off of Flopsy's hat. Like she's sort of switching between the sequins and Flopsy's hat and the food off of Flopsy's hand, which gives Flopsy enough time to get a few bites in.
What happened to the cigar? Is she still smoking in between all that?
Yep.
Please tell me when she's eating the sequins off the hat, she's doing it in a way that makes a pattern or a picture or something in the missing sequins.
Yeah, she's making a pattern of Aelar's face. Aelar keeps looking in the mirror. Compare.
Well, it wasn't really on my mind before, but I must say, whoever walks into the shindig later that we're having, wearing the Witchlight Monarch crown, they'd surely be the best dressed and the most in demand for conversation, for everything really. I'm sure everybody wants to spend a moment with the Witchlight Monarch.
Flopsy and everybody, you hear Oswald say, "Well, it will never be you. You're so insufferable."
Oswald!
Well, that wasn't very nice.
Was that you, Oswald?
What?
Or was it that nasty bird man? Or woman?
Was
Let me
what?
get a good look.
Oh, you heard it too, Oswald.
The voice? Of course it wasn't me.
Hmm.
Oh, I look like I've got time for insult.
That's true. I mean, only people with mean minds have mean insults, and Oswald is one of the purest minds that I've heard. Well, I haven't heard it, but I've spoken to Oswald, and I've been travelling with him for a few hours now, and I just can't possibly think he would say something like that.
Yes,
This is getting ridiculous. Holland will jump up on the table, stand up as tall as he can, send his ears going all askew, and he's just circling round going, "Oi, who said that?" Wrong voice. But you get the idea. I'm trying to do a perception check.
Okay.
11.
Yeah, as you stand up and just glance about the feasting orchard, you can't see anything amiss.
Can I roll a perception then, seeing that nobody else has?
Yeah.
Okay. 20.
Yeah, you sort of stand up and look around, and everyone's sort of at the table, standing and looking. From where you are, you can't see anything.
Can Oswald as well?
Oswald, yeah, the shortest guy. Stands up on a table. Yeah, you're peering around through your glasses and wiggling your glasses to get a better focus, and no, you can't seem to see anything amiss. It's just people.
I'm going to throw Marielle in the air to get a bird's eye view.
Marielle sort of like wings flap out and she coasts down, having a look. If you want to roll, you can, but she's not going to see anything amiss.
Yeah.
Rather than roll the 80th perception check, Flopsy is going to say, "Well, surely it can't just be us that's hearing these things. I'll be back in a minute." And he goes over to Winston and just asks him, "Winston, sorry to disturb you. I know you're very busy and getting busier by the minute. Don't think I haven't noticed. Have you been hearing echoes today? Has anyone been talking and then you hear them again?"
No. He looks a bit confused at you. And he's like, "Oh shit, you ain't ate a bad cupcake, have you?"
Oh, no, I don't think so. Unless we all have, because everyone at my table seems to be hearing things. I wonder if anyone else in the feasting orchard has. Keep your ears out, and if you do tend to hear things from other people, maybe you'll hear them twice, or you'll hear them when their lips don't move. Just let me know if it happens again.
He's looking a bit suspicious at you, and he's like, "Okay, I will do." And he just looks a bit like freaked out, like looks around himself a bit, like sort of like uses his arms to like cover the cupcake stall.
You were very quick to mention bad cupcakes. You've not been making bad cupcakes, have you, Winston?
Oh no, I just were worried that I had done. But if they were alright, then they're alright, aren't they?
Oh no, everything's been perfect so far. You don't need to let that doubt slip into your mind.
Did they taste
That'll be the downfall of the cake. I don't think I've heard any complaints.
Diddly-umptious.
Oh,
well,
that's good.
you
What a
are.
relief.
Well, you've got a bit of a queue going. I'll let you get back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever's happening, I think it's happening right here, and Flopsy will look under the table rather than looking around everywhere.
Under the table.
I'll just roll a perception check just so I can roll one as well.
Well,
but I know
roll
he's probably not
investigation
gonna say
now
anything.
because you're investigating things, but you're investigating under the table. You see
8.
everyone's legs and Oswald's feet.
Well, it seems to be happening to our table, but there's nothing underneath it other than the usual.
I think that, obviously, word on the street is that we're having a lot of fun, and I think that somebody is trying to ruin it. And my mother always said, if somebody is trying to ruin your day when you're having a lot of fun, then the last thing you should do is go about and being bothered by them, because if you are bothered by them, it gives them exactly what they want, and you shouldn't believe them because what they are saying is lies, and you're better than that.
Flopsy claps a little bit. Well, it wasn't very concise, but the sentiment was really good. I'll try and remember that.
Of course. Well, it's always what she used to say, more or less. Anyway, seeing as though somebody around here is being cheeky, which we should just ignore, then perhaps we should go and have some fun and undo all the unfun that they have done.
I agree. So, everybody on to the dragonfly rides, yes? Or does anyone else have anywhere they want to go first? He's already, like, walking towards the exit of the feasting orchard, like, towards the dragonfly rides.
Dragonflies are fine with me.
Sounds like a plan.
And Holland will sort of jump skip to catch up with Flopsy. And just be like, hey, come here, you got something on your... And he'll put his hand up to the hat that's a bit damaged, and he's going to try and mend it. I don't know if that's how it works, but...
What was that, the hat?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Marielle's been pecking.
Yeah, you reach up and with your paw and put it on the hat, and you see that the tiny little threads that are sort of torn a little bit with the pecking, they start to like wriggle like worms and wriggle back together, and they tighten, and then it smooths over into the nice velvety hat.
There, good as new.
Thank you. I wouldn't want to go around not looking my best. And he kind of stands back and presents himself. He looks utterly ridiculous.
Magnificent.
Thank you.
Shall we?
Oh, yes. Was Holland putting his arm out then?
Yeah.
Flopsy and Holland like skip rabbitly together, linking arms.
Skip rabbitly.
Aelar, seeing this, tries to get Oswald's arm. Like, she puts her arm out. Oswald.
Hey,
No.
what?
Do you want to link arms like Holland and Flopsy?
No.
All right then. And I just place Marielle on top of Oswald's head.
Hey, there's chicken off me. What if it poo?
Oh, Marielle doesn't poo. She only lays eggs. And she only lays egg, actually. Only one. And it's not really an egg. It's a lump of coal.
Has she laid it yet?
Well, she's laid it a few times, but she always swallows it back up again.
So you approach the dragonfly rides. I'll just put you all together. So, you hear the thunderous beating of wings as dragonflies sort of hover around this area. They are giant. So huge lily pads rest on the surface of a pool glistening with phosphorescent algae. Giant dragonflies use the lily pads as landing platforms, buzzing loudly overhead with wings as brilliant as stained glass windows, and alighting briefly to drop off and pick up excited passengers. Near the entrance, a small, smiling tree turns your way and beckons you over. You see, it is Northwind with his roots sort of planted in the ground. And a red squirrel clings to the leafy canopy, peering at you as you come down. He like twitches his nose at you. And Northwind sort of like bounces his head side to side. And he goes, "Hey dudes!
Hello.
You here to take a ride? I like it."
Yeah, we want to go on the dragonfly rides.
"Yeah. Give us your ticket." And he extends his long branch hand out like whoosh, and you see his like fingers awaiting your ticket. With his other hand, he takes his index finger and just pokes through the ticket really quickly, and hands it back to you. His eyes are like sort of semi-closed as he rocks side to side. He's smiling widely. He looks really sort of chilled out.
You look really chilled out.
Yeah, I am, dude. I'm always chill.
That's good. There's no use losing your head.
Never. And he wiggles his hair, and a few of the things fall out. If you want to try and catch one, you can try.
Is it sleight of hand?
It is. Let me just find it. It is. A D8. Oh, sorry. To catch a sycamore seed, it's a dex check. Just dex.
Just a regular dexterity. Okay.
I'll try as well.
20.
Alright, okay. Roll a D8.
That's much.
Ooh, and Holland roll a D8.
How many flew out of his head?
No, just a bunch.
Lots and lots.
Okay, I'll give it a go as
one.
well.
Not one.
Alright, okay. Holland roll again.
Okie dokie.
Because you still have that personality trait, I am easily amused. Okay. Flopsy tries and fails to catch a sycamore seed. So yeah, Aelar, you gain the following personality trait until dawn. Yes. You are easily amused. Any conflicting character trait is suppressed in the meantime. So everything is amusing to you. Holland, on top of you being easily amused, you get a D4 which you can add to one ability check that you make before the next dawn.
Ooh.
Okay.
Mind if I yes?
Northrend's like, yo, nice catch.
It was a very good catch, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
See, we're the lucky ones.
Who dat?
Well, I couldn't catch one with my spare hand, but here, Red, we've just been to the feasting orchard, and I saved a bit of crumble for you, and he's got like a paw full of like crumble topping that he's saved.
Nice,
for
dude.
Red the squirrel.
Yeah, the Northwind picks it up in his tree hands and he like pulls it up towards his shoulder, where Red like scrambles and picks him up and eats it really quick and, you know, chows down. Red sort of like salutes towards you. Yeah, so you look over to the lily pads and you can see they're all sort of like dropping down onto the lily pads and letting people on and off. And all of a sudden, one of them, which on top sits a middle-aged dwarf with a bright blue beard, he's unfastened in his harness. He's not got himself fastened in yet. And the dragonfly sort of all of a sudden like shakes and just vaults up into the air like with a big whoo. You can see its eyes are sort of like wide and panicked. And it starts to like kick around. The dwarf tries to hold on tight. And roll perception checks.
$18.
Not 20. 23.
Ooh, nice.
23.
Okay. Yeah, the dragonfly just like vaults up into the air. It's wiggling around, and the dwarf's trying so hard to hold on, and you see he just topples arse over tit. He's quite high up, and he starts to fall.
I cast Featherfall.
And midway through, woof, an unseen force catches him and lowers him to the ground, which is your Featherfall. He steps on. He stands on his 2 feet. And he lets out a massive sigh, but he looks up and the dragonfly sort of seems to be like running around aimlessly like a headless chicken. Not running, but like flying around aimlessly, just like as if it's nervous or scared. And Flopsy, well, all of you see as you look from the dragonfly in the sky, you look down to behind some bushes, and you see the face of a crow pull itself back into the bushes.
It's that nasty bird.
How far away is that?
It's around about here.
Can I chase after him?
Yeah,
distance-wise, it's probably about 60 to 80 feet away.
Can I chase after him?
Yeah, I'm running towards it.
I'm going to cast Long
Flopsy
Strider
will
on
do.
myself as well.
Alright. Okay.
Um,
When you run towards, make an investigation check. And as you like sprint off, Northwind's like, whoa! Alright, you can't cast Long Strider on yourself.
I cast it on Holland,
Alright.
Oh, bless you.
and I get a 16 for investigation.
You cast Long Strider on Holland, and Holland just starts belting it in like full rabbit sprint mode towards where the crow face
Whole
was.
force.
Yeah, Holland sort of gets there earlier than you do, but stops to look in the bushes. You catch up shortly after, and you start to look through the bushes and realise that you need to go a bit deeper than that. So you go in and you start searching around, and you spot the back of a hooded crow person. And obviously, you'll point that out to Holland.
Holland, we've got him.
Alright, Holland, you go sprinting over. And you're getting closer and closer, and this back of this hooded creature is sort of like hunking around as it's trying to sprint away. You get up close to the back of it.
Stop there, criminal scum.
Hey, wait!
Ignores you. But you're very up close to it as you run in, as you both run in, like bits of bushes sort of whacking you in the face as you run.
Holland, we're going to have to grab him.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna try and jump tackle him.
And I want to assist,
Alright.
giving him advantage.
Okay, Holland, you've got advantage for a grapple check. That's an athletics, please.
Cheeky athletics.
25.
Oh, nice. Yep, so you sort of bound forwards on your little rabbit legs. You grab hold across the top, and as you grab, you slow down the crow, and Aelar comes and grabs hold of them as well. And then he starts squawking, "Wah! Wah! Wah! Let go!
No.
Let go of me!"
Now listen here, you cheeky. What have you been up to?
The face turns around and looks into yours, and it goes, "Now listen here, you cheeky. Let me go." In your voice.
Well, what are you doing? What's all this about? Why are you trying to ruin everyone's fun?
What are you doing? What is this all about? Why are you trying to ruin everyone's fun?
I am Stinky.
I am Stinky.
Alright, well, are you nasty?
She just struggles more to try and get away. Yeah, you've got her good and tight.
Now listen here. Can you speak normally?
She coughs, and her mouth sort of like barks open. Why, yes, I can speak just fine. This is my normal voice.
That doesn't sound like it would come from you. Have you
Why
stolen
not?
someone's voice? Well, you are known for stealing my voice.
Holland,
and Oswald.
You know that this is Candlefoot's amazingly rich and deep operatic voice.
Candlefoot?
Candlefoot
The
mime.
mime?
Yes.
I don't know how he sounds.
Oh, you do not? Excuse me, it's Flopsy who knows that information.
Well,
but
around about this time, Flopsy
Flopsy can
and
hear a deep and operatic voice.
Flopsy
if
hears this
Oswald
deep and
would want to
operatic
come along
voice.
as well.
Yeah, I guess you all follow after when.
Yeah,
they
we
were
just
running.
kind of like slowly walk rather than run, so
Excuse
we'll
me.
probably come up at this point.
So
Flopsy
the old
hears-
conscious catch up.
Yes. Yeah, Flopsy.
So
yeah,
what's
it's
all the
Candlefoot.
commotion?
Ah, I have been caught. It
Yes.
seems.
You have.
Do you get joy out of being, well, slightly mean? It's not very nice to be doing that voice around this carnival. is it?
Why not?
Well, come on. We both know that that's not your voice.
Whose voice is it?
Well, you wouldn't be able to hear it now, but do you remember the gentleman at the Hall of Illusions?
The Mime?
Yes, my friend Candlefoot. Well, he lost the ability to speak a while back, and it kind of left my mind because I've not heard it in a while, but that's unmistakably his voice. And with what's happened in relation to him losing it, I think it's very disrespectful to be wandering around the carnival and blurting out in his tones.
Very, very. And also, I have a bone to pick with you, a metaphorical bone. You were saying some nasty things to Palasha, who Candlefoot is in love with, and you were doing it in his voice, which you probably stole from him.
Indeed I have, and I will no longer stop.
Oh, well then I guess we'll have to stop you. Come on, we're performing a citizen's arrest, and we are... Well, I'd like to tie him up.
It is a female Kenku, but you wouldn't really necessarily know that just based on their appearance.
Have I been misgender in this Kenku?
No. You wouldn't necessarily know. There are no like masculine or feminine details of a Kenku that particularly give away just from looking, and also this male voice is coming out. So, yeah, you don't know the gender of this Kenku, but yeah.
I think the right thing to do is to bring him to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, and they can sort out this cheeky bird person.
Well, aren't you concerned about what's going on here?
Well, Flopsy isn't, and Holland isn't, well, as far as I'm aware. But I am. What is going on here, you rapscallion?
If you let me free, then I shall reveal why.
And
perhaps
Aelar,
you could help
boring.
me. I
Just
will...
tell us. Come on.
Well,
Come
how
on.
about a
Might as
deal?
well.
How about we make a deal?
Okay. How about you pique our interest, and then we'll decide if we want to let you go or not. And you know, we've got to get to know what we're in for. A little bit of a teaser before we make our choice.
I can tell you what I overheard. Between Witch and Light.
Well, Aelar, you know that when promised with freedom, they could just make any old thing up. I mean, who's the one that's been spreading concern and taking away joy recently? I mean, you even said it yourself that they were trying to make us all feel bad at the table.
That is true, Flopsy, but if they say it in their voice... I mean, this guy, he can repeat what people say. And he can also steal people's voices. No! My curiosity is not bigger than Candlefoot's voice.
How else am I supposed to get everyone's attention? Witch and Light keep fobbing me off.
They're ignoring you.
Yes.
Well, then we'll bring you to them.
That,
Simple.
yeah.
I've already tried.
Well,
And they're giving
we'll-
me the cold shoulder.
Well, how about we go
Doesn't
there
sound right.
and ask them to listen to you?
They've already said they know nothing. It is obviously a lie, and we shan't get it out of them.
Why'd you steal Candlefoot's voice?
Again, how else am I supposed to get everybody's attention? Candlefoot and Palasha were the most in-love couple this Witchlight carnival had ever seen. What better way to bring misery than to destroy it? Again, you lot. Well, you're bringing so much joy. I tried to meddle with it, and for that, I am rather embarrassed. I might as well have just talked to you.
Yeah, you might as well as.
Considering you're not exactly agents for Witchlight, if you are discussing with me, you're already breaking their rules.
Why? What rules are there?
She looks over at Holland and Flopsy.
Is she a shadow creature?
Ooh, the Kenku.
The Kenku.
Oh no, she's just a Kenku, a crow person.
Well, yeah, we should be turning them in anyway.
Yes, I'm all in favour of taking you to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light so they can better know how to deal with you. I know that anything you say could be a lie through somebody else's voice, and I'm not ready to listen to that.
Why don't you say it to us first anyway, seeing as though that's how it's going to go down?
Are you going to release me? I shan't run away. It is not in my best interest.
How about this? If you tell us, then Oswald, who has not given an opinion on this matter so far, and Oswald is very unbiased, and he's a very good thinker. He thinks practically instead of emotionally, which is a very impressive trait about Oswald, which I admire. He can decide whether you go free or not, if you tell us.
Persuasion.
Okay. Let's get this persuasion.
With advantage, because it was good reasoning.
Ugh, a 9.
Untie me then. Or release me.
Oswald, what do you think we should do?
It depends what you want.
What I want is to be back in contact with my patron. I just know they have something to do with this.
Your patron?
Who do you worship?
My patron is Zybilna, the Archfey
Oswald!
of Prismere.
Oswald. It's like that Madrick guy said.
What did the magic guy say again?
He said he had lost contact with Zybilna. And we said we'd help him.
Yes.
I untie the Kenku.
She sort of like wiggles her wings and sort of shakes her head a little bit and she goes, "Finally. Yes, my patron. It's a very disconcerting thought. My powers aren't what they used to be."
And sorry, your god is who? I didn't quite hear all of it.
She is not a god. She is the Archfey of Prismere, Zybilna.
What does she do?
What does she not do?
Well, what doesn't she do then?
She rules over Prismere, bringing harmony to all. Neither good nor bad.
Mm. But harmony.
But balanced.
Well, you take what you can get.
Now I know that Witch and Light know more than they're letting on. Would you like to hear what I heard?
Yes, please.
At this point, Flopsy's gonna message Holland while this is going on, just to interject and ask, you know, they are right. We shouldn't really be talking with this person. They are a detriment to joy. Shouldn't we just take them to Mr. Light and Mr. Witch now?
We're gonna, but I mean, if they've got something to say, at least we can just pass it on to Mr. Light.
Holland, you know yourself that you're not the best at timing. I think maybe we should do it now.
Whilst you two are in message, Kettlesteam is continuing saying, "So you're telling me no one has heard of Zybilna? Except you," and looks at Aelar because you had the reaction.
We heard about her from Madrick. Apparently she's in a bad way. He hasn't been able to talk to her.
Well, I shall describe her to you. You may have seen images of her in books and things. She is a tall, statuesque woman with long white hair and a chicken's foot tattoo, much like the brooch around your neck.
Oh, I've seen her before. She gave me this.
Yes, the tattoo sits upon her cheek.
But that...
Huh. I think I've seen her as well. That's odd. Have you two seen her?
Well, I do seem to remember meeting somebody with a similar feature, yes.
It's not unusual. Oftentimes she comes to the material plane as a fairy godmother of sorts to young children.
Well, now that you mention it, I was a child at the time when I met her.
Yeah, same.
So
Yeah.
then you understand how important this is. If I have lost contact, something could have happened to her.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Kettlesteam.
Well, Kettlesteam, I don't know about the rest, but I trust you. And I don't think that makes you nice. And I think that you're being very, very, very nasty to these people. And I would ask you to stop, and we will find out what we can in a different way. But I also agree that we should help this woman, Zybilna, if she is who I think she is.
So do you then trust me, and agree to hearing what I heard over by the staff area?
Well, I do, but what does everyone else think?
Alright, fine. Tell us what you heard.
So, it was a couple of days ago. I was by the wagons, and I heard Mr. Light's agitated voice saying, "Someone is going to find out about this. They'll shut us down." Followed by Witch's calm, firm response. We agreed to this pact. Our hands were forced, but our eyes were open. We let the Hourglass Coven take what it wants, and in return, we stay in business. That is what you want, right? "Oh, yes, darling." And then she closes her mouth.
What's the Hourglass Coven?
I have no idea.
Like a coven of witches?
Or hags.
Aelar looks to the others, and his gaze lingers a bit on Flopsy, because she knows Flopsy would be the naysayer. And then Aelar says, directed to everyone, but looking at Flopsy, the horses and the carousel were talking about hags. that they'd apparently taken things. And do you think they're taking things from other people?
Well, hags do like to take things and make deals. Perhaps that's not so far from the truth.
They'd let them take what they want.
But I cannot make this deal with you until you agree. Until I make contact with Sibylna once more.
What deal?
If you want me to stop causing trouble, unless they're going to do something about it, or admit that they know something, or I receive contact with Sibylna once more, I will not rest.
Is going around and making other people unhappy the only thing you can think to do to help your situation?
It's the only thing that Light cares about. Except perhaps for Witch.
Well.
Holland glances over at Flopsy and does the ear twitch that across the years they've come to make the symbol of message me please.
Do the mind thing. Okay. What are you thinking, Holland?
When we went there earlier, Mr. Light was panicking. He said he couldn't calm down until the Kenku had gone.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well. Everything seems to be just a little bit too convenient, doesn't it? The carousel, unicorns mentioning the hags, and now this Kenku, who we know has been spreading discomfort and unjoy, so to speak, brings them up as well. I don't feel good about letting them go to carry on spreading misery. Do you?
No, we should definitely turn him in.
I mean, I don't really believe the unicorns anyway, but there is a lot of people mentioning hags and stealing things recently. Maybe it's something we can look into after we give the Kenku to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, yes?
Yes, we should talk to them anyway. So it's the best thing to do.
I agree.
That was a message, so I couldn't hear that.
Flopsy does message. He was going to message Aelar and Oswald anyway, but he's going to message Oswald first. Would you be okay with us taking the Kenku to our bosses? I don't want to make a decision for all of us, but I think it's for the best. That was in Oswald's head.
Oswald starts to consider now.
You can reply to this
Oswald reconsiders. No, yes, I'd be fine with that.
Flopsy moves to Aelar, who he knows is going to be the hardest one to convince. Aelar, I know you're building up a rapport with this kettle tongue. I can't remember their name. Do you reckon it would be best to stop the spread of misery, to hand them into our bosses, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light?
Aelar looks to Flopsy quite sternly, and responds, But she's told us what she knows. It's not fair if we do that.
Well, I know it's not nice to them, but think of all of the people that they're going around and ruining the days of. people dream of coming to the Witchlight Carnival, and they get their one chance, and they spend it miserable because of this person? That doesn't seem fair to me.
But she's only doing what she's doing because she wants to save Zabelna, and I don't think that. No, we can't just change our minds because we don't like it. She kept her end of the bargain. We should keep ours.
I think there's many ways to save someone, and misery doesn't seem like one of them to me. But I don't want to take the decision out of your hands, obviously. We're all a group, and we all have been doing this night together. Flopsy messages Holland again. Aelar doesn't want to,
I'm keeping a close eye on Kettle's stream, by the way, while all this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
She's not slinking off aware. But continue.
Somebody should probably speak out loud as well, because nobody's talked to the Kenku in a while, and they probably know what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's looking. Oh, sorry. You can reply Holland, and then.
I was going to say something out loud.
Oh, okay. Well, she's going to say, "You've all been quiet for rather a long time. I presume you're messaging each other, deciding what to do with me. Well, let me make it easier." And from her sort of shirt, where feathers ruffle at the chest, she pulls out a necklace, and around it is a small doll that looks just like Candlefoot. And there is a thorny stem tied around its neck.
This is voice.
I will part with Candlefoot's voice if you are able to convince Witch and Light to divulge what they know about Zabilda and Prismere, and I will promise, here and now, to no longer hassle anybody else.
Pinky swear. Aelar puts her pinky out.
She lifts her huge wing, and one of the feathers sort of curls around your hand.
Can't break a pinky promise.
She nods, and she unties the stem from around the doll of Candlefoot's neck. And then she sort of wiggles her head and goes, "Right, that's better, isn't it?" in Oswald's voice.
Excuse me?
Well, I could either choose your voice, or your voice, to Holland, or your voice, to Flopsy, or just another voice completely.
Please don't use me. It's this uncomfortable.
Alright, well, I will stick to this one.
That Winston.
I don't know who Winston is. But anyway.
Oh, that wouldn't even be Winston's voice. Well, Flopsy, I think Kettle's has made a very good agreement with us. What's everyone thinking?
Wait, why did you take Candlefoot's voice in the first place?
Because she needed to get attention.
To make him miserable.
Yeah, that's so cruel.
It was the only way.
I don't think so. Clearly it didn't work.
Well, I don't know. She's got our attention.
She starts to step backwards away from you all.
Don't move, and I cast command.
She doesn't move, but everyone make con saves.
18.
13.
Mm-hmm.
13.
Nice. Yeah, so suddenly in front of you, like a poof sound happens and a thick cloud of like dark, like really dark purple smoke emits. It's pitch black. You can not see through it. And you hear the scattering of feet as she goes away. As the smoke sort of surrounds you, you feel that it goes deep into your lungs, but you sort of cough deeply and cough it all out. It smells quite sleepy and comfortable, but you resist it getting too far into your lungs. But the thickness and darkness of it, the obscurity, allowed her a quick split second to skidoodle away. And she's gone.
Ugh.
Oh, that smelled just like Thwacko's smoke.
That's not a good sign.
And as the party ponder on all the information that they've just received today, we are going to end it there. Alright. Okay. So, we are back on schedule, by the way. So we will be playing every Monday. I will be uploading episodes onto YouTube if you want to catch up.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Thanks to our consistent 3 viewers, though. Hey, 3. We did have 4 at one point, quite consistently 4. But yeah, so anyway, bye everyone.
Love you.
Love you, bye.
Bye.
Bye.